Right now, though, we're chatting with a workplace culture expert about what he has noticed in many workplaces as we all try to put the coronavirus situation behind us. Joel Patterson joins us this afternoon on The Drive. Joel is founder of the Vesta Group, and he's been consulting for decades now on company culture. Joel, thank you for being here.
Pleasure to be here, Ted.
Okay, and what are you hearing, Joel? As the pandemic recedes, you've noticed many workers are quitting. What's going on?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, and I know if you'd asked me this 6-8 months ago, I would have given you a different answer. But really what it appears to be happening is that people have taken the time during the pandemic to really evaluate what's important to them. And for some people, that includes remote work. For some people, it's getting into an entirely different industry altogether, but it's clearly creating a shift. And the crazy part of it is, on one hand, you've got people quitting all over the place and resigning and deciding they're going to take a little time to figure out what they want to do next. But on the other side, you've got this labor shortage for a lot of industries where you can't find enough help. And when you do, you've got to pay over market rate for it. So it's created a lot of tension in the labor market over the last few months that I don't think we really saw coming the way it has.
Yeah, interesting. Do you have some statistics for us? Like what kind of numbers of employees are kind of saying I quit?
Well, I can tell you that 4 million people quit their jobs in April.
Okay.
And, that set a record. So it's
that's
definitely...
That's in the United States, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is in the U.S., but it's definitely people are it's different reasons by person too. It's not just one thing across the board, but everybody has their little thing that they've dialed in on and decided that they're gonna give it a go. The reason though that people are leaving, first of all, a lot of this was happening before the pandemic.
Okay.
So don't think that just because of the pandemic this is going on. A lot of times people were contemplating making a move anyway, and then waited until the pandemic was over and then decided to make their move.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people are just saying, it's a lack of recognition. I'm tired of company politics. All of the typical kind of things are really still playing a big role in this. Then you throw in remote work, pandemic, all of those other topics you're about to talk about too, like vaccinations. All of those play a role.
Yeah, and burnout too, I would imagine, because companies are stretched thin. They've let go some people and other people picking up the slack. I can imagine that all weighed in on things. So as a workplace culture expert coming out of the pandemic, what's your advice to employers regarding retaining those employees that you don't want to lose?
I think now is the great litmus test of how important your culture is to you in reality. Not what you say you do to support your culture, but really what you do and is demonstrable to other people. Because if you haven't built a tight-knit community of employees that allow that cohesive unit to stay together, you're probably one of those companies that's getting your employees are getting a lot of calls from headhunters. That nobody is being shy about looking for new people, and they have new options, right? Because of the remote piece. For a lot of industries, they don't have to be within 30-mile radius of your office. You can call them and hire them from anywhere. So it's really increased a lot of that competition in that market, and that's what's driving up a lot of the wages. But like I was saying before, a lot of people are just sitting back and waiting to see what really happens over the next few months and then making a decision, which has created, just kind of a unique situation. It's kind of interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, it totally is. We could see more churn. We may not. We'll have to kind of see how it all plays out. Joel, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Dan.